thank you all for being here, for sticking through this with us. I'm so just in awe of the accomplishments that have been celebrated on the stage tonight. And I'm so grateful that we have students in this room to see what the other end of so many people's careers look like after lifetimes, years in the collision repair industry. This is a special night, I think, for the industry, for this organization, for all the organizations who are a part of it. And I'm grateful to all the groups who said, we want to be here and be a part of this and deliver awards and recognize the people who are important to us. Your moment of silence, and Dan, your recognition of Chad, I think just reminds us all, like, it's so important to give each other the flowers that you deserve when you're here in front of us. If you have somebody in this room who's made a difference to you, tell them tonight. Grab them, give them a hug, say thank you. Let them know that they're important to you. Tonight we have the privilege of presenting, I think, one of the most meaningful honors that our organization can give. It's the March Taylor Kina'ole Award. And this is about honoring March's spirit, honoring his legacy, honoring the code that he taught us all about doing the right thing, the right way, at the right time, and for the right reasons. And that's really what Kina'ole is. It's not just a phrase, it's a way of living. And it's hard for me to think about the fact that March has been gone for almost 20 years now, and played such an important part and role in my life, in yours, and others around the room. But what it also means is that there's a younger generation of people around the SCRS table and in our membership and here at CIC who really only know March today through this award and not necessarily through a direct interaction. And that's exactly why we continue to tell his story, so that people will know who he was, what he stood for, and what Kina'ole represents to him and to us.
For Aaron and I, this award is very personal to us. We both had the privilege of knowing March, working with him, and learning from him, and calling him a very close friend. He's the namesake of my youngest son. We both loved him, respected him, and learned so much from him. He's a true mentor to both of us. I think it's fair to say that neither of us would be who we are today without his influence. I can say without hesitation, he has changed the lives of both of us profoundly, and for the better. To stand here years later, presenting an award that bears his name is something that means a great deal to both of us. It's not just a recognition for the recipient, it's also a way to keep March's voice, his spirit alive in this industry that he cared so much and so deeply about.
Okay, so when we present this award, what you'll notice is that it comes as a framed technician's work shirt. And it's got March's name on it, and there's a story behind it. And I'm gonna go grab it, and Barry's gonna tell you a little bit about the story of why we present this framed technician's shirt.
March was a technician at heart. He led by example. He wasn't an owner or a manager who stood back with a clipboard or computer. That he was shoulder to shoulder with his team, tool in hand, helping, teaching, and setting the tone for excellence. March was the one who taught me a lot of what I know about structurals. One of the last emails that I received from March included a procedure that he was questioning for a document that would eventually become the blueprint optimization tool. It was a project that he, Toby Chess, Dale Matsumoto, and myself, and of course several others had worked on and collaborated on. And it was truly capturing and reflecting the work of the technicians and what they actually do. After he passed on August 26, 2007, March's wife, Patty, along with Dale and Risa Matsumoto, shared 5 of his actual work shirts with some of his closest friends. People they knew would truly understand what those shirts represented.
So those shirts that look just like this hang in our offices today, and a number of you. And what I think I know for me, as I sit there and as I have conversations with you and we work on the things that we work on, I look up to that for guidance, for input, for inspiration. Every time we walk past them, we're reminded of what it means to live and to love and to give of ourselves for the right reasons. And I guess the hope is that when we present this award, when we share this shirt with somebody and they hang it in a place where they get inspired, that it's more than just a memento. It's a reminder of March's work ethic. It's a reminder of his commitment. It's a reminder of his culture and service and integrity, and the fact that we saw all those things in the person who gets to look at that every day.
Each year when we select a recipient of the Kina'ole Award, we're looking for someone who reminds us of March, someone who lives in those same values, who does the right thing for the right reasons and carries forward a legacy of curiosity, generosity, and conviction. And not one project or task, but someone who has a body of work that stands up to that ideal. It is the highest compliment we can give, personally or as an organization.
I say this every year. Sometimes I think we give this award, and we're almost giving it too much. But the reality is it's important to set the stage for the why, to understand what it means to the person who's receiving it. So that brings us to this year's recipient. A few weeks ago, I was flipping through a 2003 Motor Guide to Estimating that I had emails that I had saved between myself and March in this book. And I was looking through them along with some handwritten notes that I had taken during estimating classes at that stage in my career. And there were these emails with March, and there were these notes that I had taken from conversations with the individual who's receiving this award tonight. There was back and forth that we had with some of the information providers. And there was a number of other things that were there with that document, because I realized that I met this individual that we're recognizing tonight in the same year that I met March, right? And this was a time that was really impactful for me, that led to shaping how I viewed, how I wanted to be in this industry, all of those types of things, right? And I had these handwritten notes from this estimating class that I attended, where the person spoke for an association event in Arizona in the early 2000s. I started looking through more of the material that I'd saved, and I found more work from this individual and things that they had built and delivered through other associations. And I found other examples, like this Spot Within Panel Survival Kit CD that I've saved and held onto on my desk, because these weren't just work products. These were things that truly meant something to the individual who built them. And for 15 and 20 years, I've saved these, and so many other people have as well, and they've influenced what they've done in this industry.
That's because Tim Ronak has been sharing ideals, developing resources, imparting his thoughts, raising his hand, and asking hard questions and inspiring people in this industry for decades. Long enough that his influence that reaches across generations of professionals who have learned, and from his perspective, insight and his example to this day. I can tell you how March inspired me. I know he inspired Tim. And we've chosen him this year because Tim has embodied the spirit and influence on his friends and his peers and countless others. To be standing here now and recognizing Tim with this award that bears March's name feels like a full circle moment.
So Tim, I want you to know that you embody Kina'ole like anybody, like the best. And you are always doing the right thing for the right reasons. And we see you and we appreciate you. And through your insight and your mentorship and your generosity with your time and your unwavering commitment to help others grow, you remind us of March. We see him in you.
You've carried forward the same light, the same curiosity, and the same conviction that made March so special to all of us.
All right, so it's our deepest honor to ask you to come to the stage. And we also want to ask your wife and your kids and your dad to all come up here and join you.
So, those of you that have seen me present at seminars and things know that I usually have a lot of answers, or at least I think I do. Rarely am I at a loss for words. And I guess the best thing is, I met March Taylor on the floor of NACE. He was questioning me about a tool I was involved in called EMS Review, which is the very first, what I would consider a sophisticated spell check algorithm that looked for P-page items that were missing from an estimate. March had asked me, hey, have you heard of the SCRS? He says, you need to, and by the way, I was just dared by Jordan back there to come up here barefoot. I couldn't do that, mostly because my feet are sore. I've been on them all day. But in meeting March, he was a very disarming person and extremely knowledgeable, but very inclusive. I guess for me, it really is kind of humbling that somebody that made such a profound difference for me and for the direction that I have about giving back and trying to do what I can for those that I interact with. It's just to have the memory of him attached to me is probably one of the biggest honors. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I got a truck here too. Yes, sir.
Oh, excellent. Okay, that one's fun, and it's always fun when we can involve family. I just want to say thank you again to everybody who was here to celebrate each other. This is a great industry. It's an amazing industry, and I'm really proud and grateful to be a part of it. And Jill, you did a phenomenal job. Thank you for, yes. Thank you for bringing the sparkle, not just with your dress, but with everything you had to share tonight. We appreciate that. And thank you all. I'm going to turn it back over to Jill, but we appreciate you.
Well, I never got to know March Taylor, although I wish I had, because I have heard so many deeply touching stories about him. However, I do know Tim Ronak. And I want to share that when I came into this sector of the industry 8 years ago as the executive director for the Auto Body Association of Texas, I did not know what I was doing. And I had so many people there to lift me up and help me, and he was at the top of that list. Tim took the time to explain things to me that were so above my realm of understanding, still are, and packaged it in a way that I could deliver it to our members and understand some of these concepts. And so all the way up from 8 years ago when he first helped me in my job to today, when I asked him what he was up to and what he spoke about this morning, and my first response was, will you bring that back to our people? Can we do that by the end of the year? And his first answer immediately was yes. So Tim, thank you from me personally, from ABAT, and I'm sure everyone else in this room. We appreciate you.